to bring up Mr. Steve Schuh to start us off. Let's give the County Executive, Steve Schuh, a round of applause.
Good afternoon. Thank all of you for being here, and thanks to the various organizations and community leaders who've taken the time to be part of this event. And I especially want to thank the Boys and Girls Clubs of Annapolis and Anne Arundel County, not only for hosting us here today, but for all the great work that they do for our young people throughout the course of the year. When our administration came into office 3 years ago, we pledged to do everything we could do to help make our county the best place to live, work, and start a business in the state of Maryland. And to achieve that vision, to achieve it fully, it's imperative that we embrace and celebrate our differences and commit ourselves to loving one another as members of the human family, all created by God in His image. But recent events around the country, and even here at home, have left many citizens across our county feeling alienated and left out. I want everybody in our county to feel that they matter, that they have a voice, and that they are wanted. Consistent with those goals, we are today announcing a series of actions. First, I want to highlight the recent hiring of Alana Dennis as our compliance officer. She's a wonderful addition to our team. Her responsibilities will be to ensure that our county government and its employees have a full understanding of their responsibilities toward other employees and to resolve disputes and build respect among employees in conflict. And finally, to assure that county government operates in a manner that is consistent with all employment and anti-discrimination laws. Second, we recently formed the Human Relations Core Group, which will be tasked with implementing our Human Relations Plan. The Core Group will consist of Chief of Staff Diane Krogan, Compliance Officer Alana Dennis, Community and Minority Outreach Officer Derek Matthews, who will focus on minority recruitment and community engagement, Immigrant and Multicultural Affairs Officer Maria Casasco, who will be responsible for connecting immigrants to resources and information and assisting them in their assimilation into American society, and Director of Constituent Services Nancy Schrum. Third, we will launch Anne Arundel United, a community outreach campaign program overseen by Derek Matthews to engage every citizen and community in the fight against racism through a community ambassador program, which will be a volunteer corps charged with addressing incidents of racial controversy and bringing communities together to better understand one another's perspectives. The community ambassador program will be our boots on the ground when we need to respond to incidents, but more proactively, our ambassadors will work to bring communities together through events, public meetings, and fun activities to create a solid foundation of respect between people of all backgrounds. Fourth, to ensure that the composition of county government reflects the people we serve, the county will expand its minority recruitment efforts beyond public safety, where they are currently focused, to each and every department in the executive branch of government. All offices and commissions under the control of the county executive's office will work aggressively to create marketing campaigns that achieve our recruitment goals. Fifth, the compliance officer will be charged with conducting a government-wide diversity training program that will help build a better understanding in the county workforce with the goal of training the county's more than 6,000 employees over the next 24 months. Sixth, Maria Casasco, who has served Anne Arundel County for 23 years as our Community Grants Administrator, will become our Immigrant and Multicultural Affairs Officer. Her mission will be to promote stability and well-being of immigrant and multicultural communities by identifying programs and resources and ensuring access to services that facilitate assimilation and success in our society and our county. Lastly, tomorrow I'll be issuing an executive order denouncing racism and prejudice in our county. These initiatives Thank you. These 7 initiatives form the backbone of our Human Relations Plan, an effort that will build on the progress we've made in community engagement over the last 3 years. I am hereby calling on all community leaders here today and citizens across our county to join us. Become part of the solution, become a force for positive and constructive engagement. Become part of Anne Arundel United. Thank you.
I'm going to bring up Councilman Pete Smith, who has become an integral part in our presence actually here today. And we're looking forward to the same continued efforts. So Mr. Pete Smith, would you please come forward and
I want to thank the county executive for his leadership with this effort. We started this several months ago with the help and assistance of community members who were concerned about issues that were happening in Anne Arundel County. We had several incidents within Anne Arundel County that certainly stood out, but I'm excited that this is sort of the first step and a whole host of steps that's going to help eliminate racism. There's one thing I really want to pick on while we're here, and I'm so honored that we're here at the Boys and Girls Club, because at the end of the day, combating and ending racism is about the kids who come to this community center. And it's about the kids and families who come to every single community center or live in every single community and the world that they grew up in. The world I grew up in, and for those that are out here, it was hostile, just like some of the things we've seen today. But I see a generation of older folks who existed and lived in an environment or a world that was even worse than what we had today when it came to racism, where people were being spit on, where they were told to drink from certain fountains, where they were told that they couldn't be hired into certain jobs. But what I'm proud of today is the road, we've moved the milestone with every single incident that has occurred. And we got leadership in this room, Carl Snowden, folks who have carried the torch for many, many decades and many, many years to highlight some of the issues that are of concern for minority communities. And what I'm proud of as a councilman is the fact that we get to show and provide leadership, because that's what this is about. Racism can end. I said this before, that if we can send a person to the moon, we sure as hell can end racism, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm excited about the opportunity. Steve talked about the county executive talked about some of the mechanics of how we're going to progress forward. But what I want to talk to you about is the vision and where we're going to be at 10, 15, 20 years from now, so that when your kids and your grandkids grow up in Anne Arundel County, which is going to be the sort of milestone in the county that literally paves the way forward for every single jurisdiction in Maryland, and quite frankly, the country, we can show them how we can come together. Steve and I, we serve on different sides of the aisle. There's one issue, in my opinion, maybe a couple more, but there's certainly one issue that should not be partisan. There's one issue that is not about politics, and that's ending racism. And whether he's a Republican and I'm a Democrat, he's white and I'm black, it doesn't matter what party we belong to. What matters is that the kids that service and come to this facility live in a world that it doesn't matter what color of their skin. It only matters the efforts and the education and the tools that they have to be successful is provided as an opportunity for every single kid. And that's what I'm excited about on Anne Arundel United. We're going to unite behind this process. We're going to unite behind common goals and themes that push us in a direction that's going to help eliminate, not just, like I said before, not just here in Anne Arundel County, but in the state of Maryland, because that is what this is about. We got one life, all of us in here, one life. Some of us will live to 100, some will live to 85, and I hope to live to well past 100, because for every single one of those years that I am on this planet, it's going to be aimed at ending racism. It's going to be aimed at providing opportunities for kids who would not have the opportunity had it not been for this program, because we worked with county leadership to ensure that hiring practices were adjusted to account for some of the negativity and the biases that exist in our country. I'm excited to be in a county that's going to have kids who grow up in a high school that doesn't have nooses that are hung out on the outside of the school. I'm excited to live in a county where our police chief is quick to respond to every single incident that he believes, and he's done this. Our police chief, Tim Altamar, has been an excellent representative for the police department here in Anne Arundel County, and I'm proud that he serves our county, and I'm thankful that the county executive place faith in him, because I tell you, if there is some issue that he has concerns about, he is one of the first ones to respond quickly. He doesn't wait. He doesn't wait. He'll make phone calls, he'll respond, and he'll take action. And this ending racism is about taking action, and it is about leadership. And I'm grateful everyone in this room who cares about ending it. We can't do it alone. Now, I know over the last couple of months or last couple of weeks, as this program has been sort of evolving and being put together, but going forward, you're going to see a lot more openness with this. You're going to see a lot more community involvement, community input. The county executive is certainly going to make this declaration tomorrow when it comes to this. And I'm excited that you all are going to be involved in that process. And your opinions matter, your kids matter, your lives matter, your communities matter. And we should all be aimed at a day in this society where, whether you live in Severna Park or Brooklyn Park or South County or Millersville or Severn, that no matter who you are, you're going to be treated with dignity, you're going to be treated with respect, and you're going to be given the opportunity to thrive and succeed just as anyone else would, no matter what color their skin, no matter their disability, no matter their sex. That's the county that we live in. That's the county that we deserve. And Anne Arundel United is the pathway that's going to allow us to get there. So thank you, County Executive, for the opportunity to say a few words. And I'm just excited to be a part of that team to make sure that we start here in Maryland and we end racism, because I certainly believe we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Before I bring up the next speaker, I want everybody in the room to know I don't believe in accidents, right? Accidents don't happen. Everything that we're trying to roll out today has gone through extensive planning and very meticulous thought. So as I bring up the next person, I want you to acknowledge that Pete Smith mentioned how important it was for him that we were doing it here at the Boys and Girls Club, because the children ultimately are who matter at the end of the day. We can all agree on that. So now I'm going to bring up the superintendent of the Board of Education school system, and that's Dr. Olato.
This initiative today, Anne Arundel United, is a big step forward to get everybody to the table around something I believe we can all agree on. Racism and discrimination has to end. This battle is bigger than any one agency, and it's certainly bigger than our school system. We must wage this battle together. First and foremost, we have to develop relationships. Nothing works if we can't reasonably talk about diverse points of view and do it respectfully and with compassion. That's exactly what we aim to do with our Restorative Practices Initiative within the schools. It is an activity such as community building circles where students can share divergent points of view in a safe, supportive, and respectful environment. I hope the county's new Community Ambassador Program fosters that same respect and appreciation for diversity of all kinds, not just race and ethnicity, but in areas like religion, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Our children are not born to hate. It is something they sadly learn from us adults. It is up to all of us to halt that type of learning so that we can enhance all other types of learning that we want to impact our children's lives. Our school system is committed to doing its part, but we can't do it alone. We welcome this partnership with the county, the city, every individual here, and certainly the entire Anne Arundel County community. We have talked with Mr. Schuh's administration about several ideas to generate and continue these crucial community conversations, and will continue to develop ways to enhance those conversations among students and staff in our schools. Our school system, as a government, as individuals, and as a community, we collectively have a powerful podium from which to pronounce a clear and powerful message. Hate has no home here. We need to do it together, and this initiative has a promise to allow us to do just that. We are honored to take on the responsibility within our schools for our students and our staff, and we look forward to continuing these conversations and this community action, as Mr. Smith points out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Olato. I've had a couple more notes I made here. I saw the fire chief is now present, Anne Arundel County Fire Chief, Chief Graves, welcome. And standing next to him is the Deputy Fire Chief of Annapolis City, Chief Simmons. And behind me, in the absence of Chief Altamari, is Deputy Chief Flemings from the Anne Arundel County Police. Thank you. I think it's important for you to meet the rest of the inner workings of what's transpiring in these words you're hearing today. So the next two ladies are very critical to that mission. I'm going to bring up Ms. Alana Dennis, who is the new compliance officer that Steve Schuh spoke of, and allow her to address you for a few moments. Ms. Alana?
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here and truly blessed. I want to take this opportunity to thank the county executive and also the chief of staff and all my colleagues and everyone here. A little bit about just this moment, just looking across this room, I see the vibrancy, the diversity of all gender, color, religion, national origin, and that brings a joy to my heart. My background, coming from very humble roots myself, my grandmother only went to the 4th grade, my grandfather only went to the 8th. But one thing that they taught me at an early age, and this I will always take with me, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you come from, your socio-economic background, but this you must remember. Treat everyone, the way you want to be treated in return. Is that not true? With respect, civility. You understand? And that has resonated within me with everything that I do. Looking across this room right now, I think of one important thing that I want to say, because I know my role as a resource, as a diversity trainer that embraces diversity and inclusion, but also as a person who hears the voice of those who have concerns of discrimination, harassment, retaliation. The door is open. I'm here for the workforce of Anne Arundel County. You're not alone. If there is a concern, I encourage people to come forward and let me know. We rather address it and deal with it succinctly, directly, and eradicate it. Be not confused. There's no confusion here. So with that said, I had two quotes really, but I'm gonna try to get with one. One that I think resonates as I look across this room, it was a Maya Angelou quote. Don't ask me when or where she said it, don't know. But nothing can dim the light which shines within. Nothing can dim the light which shines within. So with that said, I see here today nothing but light, nothing but truth, nothing but sincerity of the efforts, nothing but unity of everyone here, combined with the succinct, unified Anne Arundel united goal. A community that embraces the diversity, that embraces all colors, all races, all religions, all sexual orientations, all genders, all national origin, all ages, all generations, all disabilities, all veterans. Everyone is united, and I thank you.
I'm going to bring up my next partner in this journey. I have two powerful women to my right and left. I'm going to bring up Miss Maria Casso and have her give you a few words as it pertains to the immigration and the immigrant community. Give her a round of applause.
We celebrate diversity in Anne Arundel County, do we? This office will advise and collaborate with other county agencies and nonprofit organizations to enhance intercultural understanding by providing opportunities for community stakeholders to learn about their own identities and attitudes while increasing cultural awareness. What is meant by the term diversity? It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual differences. How do we promote diversity? Creating an inclusive culture for all, ensuring equal access to opportunities to enable our communities to fully participate, live and work in a changing, diverse, and inclusive global community. Unity in diversity comes from seeking an opinion different from mine. It came to my mind the phrase, unity in diversity, and some definitions to describe it. These are from a lady called Aditi Pantil. Unity in diversity comes from celebrating the differences that make each of us who we are. Unity in diversity comes from letting go of what it is my truth and focusing on our future together. But most of all, unity in diversity comes from taking our differences and uniting them towards a powerful common goal, one that can create a positive ripple in the world, one person at a time. The Anne Arundel United Initiative is born today. Thank Mr. Schuh. But most importantly, it must be cultivated by all of us to show a common front against hatred and discrimination. Unidad es diversidad. Es posible. Sea un embajador, involúcrese. Unity in diversity is possible. Be an ambassador. Get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Alana. Okay, before we conclude, I want to do a couple of things. I want to acknowledge there's a group of people that have been extremely silent, but very, very visual to you the entire. You can't hear me? Can I get a little bit more volume? Okay, is that a little bit better? Is that better? All right, give me a little bit more. All right, I want to make sure where everybody hears. So you've heard where we stand, you've heard the position that we've taken. Behind me rests the initial core of the ambassadors that we speak of. These are county employees from every department that are making up the nucleus of our ambassador program. So I would want to, one, thank them, have you thank them. As we get our initial core trained, the plan is to begin the outreach, and I'm going to get to that in closing. But before I do that, so you've heard where we stand, and you've heard the makings of some very positive movement. So we can now go back and ask ourselves, and I'm going to ask you now to ask yourself, what will you do now? What will you do now after hearing what you've heard? In the great words of the Dr. Martin Luther King, he said, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. I ask you again, what will you do now? Now I'm going to ask the group to do something for us all. I'm going to ask each person to rise if you're seating. Would you please stand if you're seated? And I'm going to ask each of you to reach to your right and left and extend your hand and grab the hand next to you. That's for everybody in the room. Those behind me, I want every... Now that you've done that, I want you to look to your right and left, and I want you to look at the beautiful sight next to you. We are united. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes our formal proceeding for this event.